Hi there, welcome back to the channel. What are we talking about today? Well, we're going to be talking again about used prices because we've had another pretty rubbish month in November for dealers. It is the largest drop on record, 4.2% drop in November, which also mirrored what happened in October as well. So that's over 8% drop in car prices in 2 months. And December, well, let's be honest with you, it's not going to look any better, to be honest, even when we get December's figures. December is not a great month for buying cars. It's one of those months where you just need to get through it as dealers to get into January, when things usually do pick up. So I can't expect much great news to come in December. Even us as well, we deal in sort of the sub £5,000 cars. We have noticed for the last week or two, it has gone quiet, but that's completely normal. That's what usually happens in the car trade in December anyway, or late November. But for other guys, they've been quiet now for a few months. With the prices starting to come down as well, it's not a great place to be in at the moment if you're dealing in those more expensive vehicles. A lot of cars now are coming down in price, EVs. Executive vehicles have fallen quite dramatically, as I'll show you in a minute. And even some general cars, sort of bread and butter, you know, your Focuses, your Civics, your Astras, even your bread and butter mid-range cars, 10, 15 grand stuff. Even dealers now are being a bit cautious about trying to commit to buying those at auction as well. Now, in fairness, the 4.2% drop we've seen in November and also in October is reflective on vehicles less than 3 years old. So effectively, they've dropped around £775 in 2 months, which is a big old drop, don't get me wrong. But yet on the flip side of it, Auto Trader has announced that cars over 10 years of age, actually prices went up in November. They actually rose by 8.4% on their platform, which is really interesting because that is what actually I'm seeing as well on the ground, not only at the dealers, but also at the auctions. Demand there for those sub £5,000 cars is really, really strong, but yet the demand for the bigger stuff, the more expensive vehicles, even the everyday stuff is really starting to decline. And when you get into the electric stuff and also the executive stuff, my word, the bottom has really fallen out of those. I can actually demonstrate that in this clip. I'm going to show you a clip now of a recent trip to my local auction. I go to the auctions a lot. Those of you who are new to this video, please like and subscribe by pressing that like and subscribe button and that bell to get my latest content. But basically, I run a car dealership called the Car Pitch in Crewe in Cheshire, and I deal in less than sort of £4,000 vehicles. In my channel, I vlog the vehicles that I buy, go into more in depth about them as we do them up and sell them, obviously to try and make a profit. But I also visit the auctions, which you can check out on my channel. I've done lots of auction videos this year, so you can check them out, guys, by subscribing to the channel. Now, in this clip, we're going to see a Mercedes-Benz GLC Coupe. It's a 2016 model. It's done average miles in diesel. It's a proper nice prime bit of stock. It's what dealers a few months ago would have been absolutely fighting over. Now, the book price of this car is £18,800 cap clean. Now, I'll explain what cap clean means. It's effectively a guide that we use as trade. So when we go to auctions, or we have basically dealerships have a platform we use, a guidebook if you like. Years ago, there used to be actual physical books we used to have. Glasses Guide was another one, Parker's Guide. Cap is the one mainly that gets used these days. It's more online now. But when we get our catalogues, it's basically all the catalogues have a cap guide in there, clean, average and below average. Now that refers to the condition. So when a car is cap clean, that is saying what the car should be worth to buy trade in clean condition. Now in this case, this GLC is worth £18,800 cap clean. That is what dealers would be expecting to pay roughly around. Now it doesn't mean it's always accurate, but usually it's not a million miles off. Now this Mercedes you're about to see was in clean condition, and like I said a few months ago, would have easily made its cap clean price. As you can see in this clip in a sec, it didn't work out for this particular car. But also just after this, we're going to see another car come in, a completely different type of vehicle, a cheapy car, a cheapy BMW with high miles. It's also a convertible and diesel, non-ULEZ compliant, but yet that vehicle does absolute silly money and goes way in excess of its cap price, which is £1,700. So let's just check out this video now, guys, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Let's see what this does. This is the GLC.
That's a good much together. Where do we go? Someone like that. We're 16.5 to go. 16.5. 16.5. What do you, John? 16.5. 16.5. 16.5. That's 16 on the bid. 16 on the bid. 16 on the bid. 16.5. GLC Coupe. That's 16 on the bid. 16.5.
No bids.
All drivers go. 16.5. That's 16 on the bid. Ouch.
Someone's put a bidding online. Who's put a bidding?
Need to start. I'll put 15 forward, but you've got push to bar.
Oh.
5. 15.5 speed. 15.5. 15.5. 15.5. We're on mile off.
That's £2 grand under book.
15.5. 15.5. 15.5.
Clean, it's 18.8.
Yes or no? Whitney Slarman at 15 months.
Probably,
Twice.
it's near clean.
Darford, I'll give you a call.
It's probably even
15.5.
more the book than I think it is. Yeah, that's nowhere near reserve. And then you get a little 1 Series convertible on 12 plate, 129,000 miles, booking at 1,700 quid. Now let's see if this struggles to do its book price.
Let's get it rolling then, chaps. Cheap, captain 21.75. He's got under half the money. He's got a grand for that. £1,000. He was there just first. 11 a bid. 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 12 in the red. 12 a bid. 13. 13. 13. At 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18.
Go. Made reserve.
19.
Over reserve.
1. 21. To the bid. That's 21. Yes or no? 15. 2. 22. 15. 3. 15. 4, 24.
If you haven't worked it out now, cheapy cars are where it's currently at.
Yes or no? Down once, 24, down 15, 5, 25, 25, walks away, 25.
And even under £5 is king.
And
So as you can see in that clip, I think it sums up brilliantly what is going on in the trade. That Mercedes-Benz was £3,300 under cap price. Now that car remained unsold. There was no way the dealer could sell it for that little. Now, it's going to be very difficult for big dealers at the moment to be taking cars in part exchange because they want to take the cars in to get deals done, but they've got to be really cautious and weigh up between basically paying enough so the deal can get done and also making sure they don't overpay so they can get the car basically sold, whether they're going to retail it on again or, in this case, put it in an auction to dispose of it. And it's a real fine balance to get that right when you've got a market tumbling like it currently is. But on the flip side, look at that BMW. Convertible car, diesel, done 120,000 miles. A nice thing, don't get me wrong, but it's capping at around 1,700 quid it was at the book price. But yet it did 2,500, £800 over. There was plenty of demand for that. But the dealers there were fighting for that one. They really wanted that nice bit of stock. And I don't blame them because that is the sort of thing that will sell at the moment. Even though it's not even ULEZ compliant, it does not matter because the market does not evolve around London. There's plenty of buyers for that type of vehicle, sub £5,000 in particular, around the UK who will gladly buy that type of vehicle. And so it really sums up where the demand is from the dealers at the moment in the auctions. And that is definitely 100% sub £5,000. Start looking at the cheapy vehicles like your Fiestas, your Corsas, your Igos, all those smaller cars. They're doing really strong money. Anything that's half right is going way over book. And prices have really not come down at all. And in fact, as well, as we see going forward, we're probably going to see a lot more dealers stepping into that ground. In fact, I'm already seeing it. I think I mentioned it in my last video. Car dealers are not daft individuals. They understand the market well. The usual stuff they're dealing in is not selling, or there's a bit of a price, or prices are coming down. They'll take a step back and go, hang on a minute, well, let's have a look at what we're selling. Do we need to sort of change tack? And I'm seeing guys now who are going off and buying those cheapy vehicles again, stuff that they wouldn't usually be buying. Now for guys like me who deal in that sort of sub £5,000 cars, it puts a bit of pressure on me to buy stock. Now, luckily for me, I've seemed to have timed it a little bit well. I've been quite overstocked, actually, the last few weeks. I've managed to get quite a few vehicles in from other sources, so I've not had to rely too much on the auctions, which is good, really, because time we get to January, there is absolutely no hope in hell of me trying to get any vehicles in the cheapy category. I don't think, actually, looking back in January, years gone by, that I've ever bought a car in January from the auctions. If I have, it's probably the odd one. I don't know why it is. It's always been the case. We call it Mad January at the auctions. Traders come back from the Christmas break, they're at it, it's a new year, new start, and they get straight down to work, and it's just really competitive, and it doesn't fizzle out really until sort of February, March, when things start to become a bit more sensible again. So what is my predictions next year with pricing? Well, I think this realignment that's happening will probably last a few months, and then eventually as we get into sort of early spring, things will really start to pick up again in that used sector. Now, I think the one area that really does worry me, and I think will worry a lot of other dealers, is those dealing in the sort of executive market. The prices, I've said, have tumbled so much, and as we can see from the clip in that video, which is part of a full video, guys, you can check that out as it comes out in the next few days, where I actually went to the auction and filmed a lot of cars, a lot of stuff that I buy, but also a lot of this big stuff as well, these big executive vehicles, a lot of Jaguar Land Rover stuff. Honestly, you should check out some of the prices there. Without giving the game away too much, effectively we're struggling to get bids on vehicles, in some cases no bids at all. Even with the prices being reduced on the rostrum, there still was no interest. There was no desire to buy those vehicles at absolutely ridiculously cheap money, and there was still no desire. I was so tempted to buy one to replace the wife's piece of old crap. But there's a lot more to that other than just basically realignment of prices. The Jaguar Land Rover stuff is going through a real tough time at the moment. Those of you, I'm sure you'll be aware, who watch a lot of these videos will see that there's a massive problem with insurance in regards to Jaguar Land Rovers, particularly around London. It's caused a massive drop in demand. The security issues as well. The tax on these vehicles is particularly expensive. The reliability is certainly questionable, and a lot of people who get bitten by them as well. All those problems are certainly not going to be helping that market. So let's see what a new year brings us. So thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. So please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. It helps me out immensely. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you all in my next video. Right, let's get back to work.